Hi, Ange. Hi, Shells. Hi, Deborah. Deborah, I just accidentally sent you the invite. Ignore it. Hi, Sparkles. Hi, Grim. Welcome in. Hi, Brian. Hi, Lemons. Thanks, Sparkles. Hi, Vampy. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Glossette. Hi, Big Duh. Welcome to the porch. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Oh my God, you're so cute, lovely. I love that. You're so cute. Someday, girl, someday. Once we get to that 2.2 milli, right? Someday. Hi, Hi, Arcan. How are you? Hi, Lily. Hi, Justin. Hi, Mary. Yeah, Deborah, you saw it. Yeah. Hi, DW. I'm just catching up on the chat here. Hi, Trisha. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Hi, Hat Hag. It's going well, Vampy. How are you doing? Thanks, Deborah. That's cute. Hi, Jade. Watching Wicked. Nice. Yeah, you are early. Welcome in. Welcome back, Carmen. We have 2 Carmens in here. Okay, Lemons. Thanks. Love ya. Yeah, right, Cynthia? Hi. How are you doing? Welcome in, everybody. If you guys could do me a big favor, could you hit that share arrow? If you're on TT, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? And there is a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing into your stories and sharing with your friends helps a lot. Also, tapping on the screen all night helps a lot too. More than you would think, I promise. It helps so much. The nights that we got to 100, or we got to 1 million taps, I got 400 new porch pals. So clearly the tapping does matter, and I never realized how much. So thank you guys for all the taps. Okay, I'm gonna look right now. Jade, did you already do it? Did I miss it? Are you gonna do it right now? I did. I just saw it pop across the screen, but I didn't see it pop up. Did you? I didn't see it pop up. Somebody got filtered. I didn't see the sleepy broom. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Lisa. That's weird. I didn't see it pop up. I was staring right at my phone. Huh. Where did it pop up? Was it under my banners? Do I need to move my banners? I'm good, Felicia. How are you? But it is my fault. If you saw it and I didn't see it, then I missed it. I'm gonna watch the replay. I want to see it. Sleepy broom sounds cute. Hi, Holly. Oh, okay, Sparkles. Sparkles says hi to everybody. Thank you for the heart me, Mary. Or the hand hearts, I mean. Thank you. Yes, you too, Kenneth. Okay, guys, feel free to, in all capital letters in the chat, feel free to write in your story requests that you would like to hear tonight. Oh my gosh, I love this cat. I love him. He's so cute. Thank you, Trisha. Jungle Blitzy. I love how he's doing something different each time. It's so cute. Holly Witchstone. Witchstone. Okay, so yeah, write your stories in all capital letters. I'll write them down and then we can vote for them. Oh my gosh, Trisha, is he painting with his mouth? Oh my god, he's so cute. He had a little headband on. Oh, Holly, that one. Oh, yeah, that rock. Okay, I know. That was crazy. Hello, Jay, Side, and Stick. How you doing? Welcome to the porch. Welcome in. Yeah, Mandy, I have over 100 stories, and they're all available on my YT channel. And there's also, I posted a list on my Discord page that you can refer to as well. But most of the people have just over time learned the stories from coming in here, and then they get favorites. But most people fall asleep to my bedtime stories playlist on my YT channel, and then through doing that, they like get favorites that I then read live over here. So basically all the stories that I'm reading live are from my YT channel. Really, Lily? Yay! James, you printed the list. I love that. Lovely, you're so cute. And so basically you'll get used to them. Like, so if you're like new, don't even worry about the request, just hang out. And like, if you like one, I say the title of the story at the beginning and the end of every story so that you can learn it. So if you like it and you're like, man, that was good, at the end, I'll say the title again and just remember, oh yeah, I really like that one. And the next time you come in, if you want to hear it again, that's just kind of how it goes. It's like, you just kind of get used to them. And I will say that when I first started doing the bedtime stories lives, nobody really knew my stories yet, and I didn't have over 100 yet, and I just kind of read whatever I felt like it. And then it started becoming where I'll never forget when people started coming in and asking for certain stories, and I was like, they know my stories? They like those? Oh my God. And so now it's become all request run because a lot of people know the stories now because we've been doing this for a while. But if you don't know them, just sit back and relax. And you'll get to know them the more you hang out with us here on the porch. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, that's the whole point, is to fall asleep. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all these stories myself, so they are available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. If you look for Porch Lore, you will find me, but I also do have all of the links in my bio. Cynthia, you said the hiker story. Which one? Hitchhiker or the one about the hiking shelter? Thank you for the follow, 5D Manifester. Welcome to the porch. And yes, correct, Kim. The only ones that are not available on my YT channel are the Are You Afraid of the Dark reworkings. Those are a live exclusive. Hi, Spider Gem. How are you? Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Me too, Pixie. I've also been sneaking them into the polls, hoping people will vote for them. But there are some that people ask for every single live, which that also just tells me that they like stories like that, and I need to write more like that, you know? So it does help me gauge like which ones you guys really like, and which ones you don't. But then sometimes I'm like, wait, I just don't think they know some of these. So also Lovely's been really good about helping me do that. Thanks, Pixie. Lovely's been really good about helping try to bring to life some of the older ones that people aren't familiar with. Lovely, I love you. The shelter. Okay, Cynthia, I got it. You like the new one, Nancy? Don't worry. For sure that's going to be on the poll. Oh, really, Jamie? Oh, I love that. I love that. The diner story gets a lot of people because everybody likes that. I love that story. I'm very proud of that story. And it makes me happy that everybody else really liked it too. Okay, Sparkle Tree. Thank you for the capybara eating pizza, Holly. And thank you, Songbird and Michelle, for the cozy cryptids. And Lily, thanks for the populars. And Jennifer, thank you for the wink. And Lily, thank you for the populars. Thank you, Kim. Yes, all capital letters, please. Trish, thanks for the gamer kitty. He's so cute. Lily, thanks for the budding heart. And yes, all caps, please. That helps. Was it James? I didn't know that. My request? What, Lovely? Which request? Me too, Luciano. Me too. Uh-oh, Holly. Really? Thank you, Luciano. I'm glad you like the vibe. Hi, Anna. Wait, what? What? Lovely, I love you. What? I don't even know. Wait, okay, wait. I have a story about an alien that has an inappropriate relationship with a 17-year-old and a mom. Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about Flatwoods Monster. Flatwoods Monster and Mrs. Robinson, I forgot. Yes, I remember now, Lovely. Eugene Lemon is his name. Miss Nikki, thank you for the follow and welcome to the porch. Okay, you guys, I'm going to set up the first poll so we can vote for the first story. Thank you, Mic Drop. How you doing? Hi, Catherine. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. I love the capybaras. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I'm going to set up the first poll so we can vote. He did. He had an inadequate flashlight and he fainted. Yeah, me too, Sparkles. I was like, wait, what? But now I remember. Okay. I'm going to put up the first poll and then we can vote. And while I'm setting up the first poll, if you guys could do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner, there is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. User, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing to your friends helps a lot, and so does tapping on the screen. Tapping helps get us pushed out to the FYP immensely, and it is greatly appreciated. Tapping is basically clapping. So, welcome to the porch. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, and relax. Watch the shooting stars, and I'll be right back with the first poll. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Pippa. All right, you guys. Oh, hi, Nancy. All right, the first poll is ready. We have The Door in the Water, which is the story about the Selkies. We have the Flatwoods Monster. We have the Fresno Nightcrawlers. We have the Rain Crow Shelter. And we have the Natchez Trace. Hi, Tommy. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box. And you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story. Jane says Curtis the Seal. You can vote for more than one story, and you can vote up to 50 times. Who's it gonna be? The Door in the Water with Curtis the Seal, the Selkies, the Flatwoods Monster, the Fresno Nightcrawler Creepy Pants, the Rain Crow Shelter, or the Natchez Trace. Let's see. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jamie. Oh, really, Stephanie? That's so sweet. And Cynthia, I'm sorry, the poll is actually only on TT. I don't know how to do a poll on YT yet. I just started streaming over on YT. So the poll is actually over on TikTok, but don't worry, you can just sit back and relax. But Justin will vote for you guys over there, if you would like. I think he already put that in the chat somewhere that he will vote for you guys. So feel free to put your request in the chat. And he's a sweetie. But it's almost over for this time, so next time you can do that. Yeah, sorry about that, Cynthia. I'm still learning. This is only the second week I've been doing on the tube of you. I'm not allowed to say it because of TikTok, but for now, I haven't really figured out how to do it over there. But you can still write your requests, and I'll still put them on the polls and see if everybody votes for them. And Justin said he will vote for you guys. But also, you can just sit back and relax as well. You don't really have to worry about it. All right, let's see who won. But the next poll, feel free to tell Justin whichever one you want to hear the most. And thanks for being here, Cynthia. Welcome to the porch. Also, Dimwit, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Jada, thanks for the follow. You just found it last night, Cynthia? I'm so glad. I'm brand new over there, so I love to see people coming in that are new on the YTs, on the Tube of You side, because I just started streaming over there, so thank you for being here. All right, guys, the winner of the poll is... Ooh, The Door in the Water, the Selkies, and Curtis the Seal. Hi, Seabass, thank you. Hi, Ivy, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, guys. I will be right back with the tale of The Door in the Water, the Selkie story. And while I'm setting that up, if you guys could do me a big favor, and if you are on TT, please hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. And there's a little yellow circle that has two arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this porch. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. And I do write and record all these stories myself, so you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. So just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Thank you, Jamie, for the hand hearts. I'll be right back with the tale of The Door in the Water. Hi, Misty. Hi, Melly. Sorry guys, I don't know why it did that. But give me 1 second. On YT and Twitch, sorry, it just didn't switch smoothly like it usually does. Me neither, Chris. I'm very excited too. Yeah, same Vampy. We're all so excited it finally won. And Sparkles, Merlin is doing great today. He's the best. I'm obsessed with him. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the door in the water. Ireland has a long memory for the things that live near the water. Rivers, lakes, tidal inlets, places where the land blurs into something deeper, have always carried their own folklore. Long before written history, stories passed from village to village about beings that lived in those shifting boundaries between land and water. Thank you, Melly. Some were said to be spirits. Others were described as ancient races that existed alongside humanity but rarely revealed themselves. One of the oldest and most widely known among them is the Selkies. In Scottish and Irish folklore, Selkies are described as seals that can shed their skin and take human form on land. Thank you, Millie. The stories appear in oral traditions stretching back centuries along the Atlantic coast, particularly in places where fishing villages live side by side with the sea. But the legends don't treat selkies like romantic fairy tale creatures, no. Most of the old stories carry warnings. They describe fishermen seeing seals watching them from the water with unsettling intelligence. They describe people who claim to encounter strangers along empty shorelines who seemed almost human but not. And the most persistent belief woven through these stories is simple. If a selkie's sealskin is stolen while they are on land, they cannot return to the sea. Some folktales describe human men hiding the skins and forcing the selkie to marry them and remain on land. But the ending of those tales is rarely happy, usually resulting in the selkie killing the human man, finding her skin, and leaving. No matter what life she built on land, no matter who she leaves behind, when given the choice, she will always return to the sea. And the men who tried to remove that choice usually wound up dead. And in some stories, the sea takes something with it when that happens. The man's soul. I had been traveling along Ireland's western coastline for several days, working on a series about folklore that still lingers quietly in certain landscapes. The Atlantic coast of Ireland is the perfect place for that kind of story. Cliffs fall straight into cold water. Fishing villages sit exactly where they have for centuries. The wind carries the smell of salt and seaweed across miles of open stone. Thank you, Erica. It's the kind of place where old stories don't feel completely separate from the present. Eventually, my route took me to Doolin, a small village perched along the coast not far from the cliffs of Moher. Most visitors come there for the cliffs or the traditional music pubs. But a few miles north of the village sits a narrow stretch of shoreline that sometimes locals call the Seal Strand. It's not marked on tourist maps and there's no sign pointing the way. Just a rough gravel track leading toward the water. I found the place late in the afternoon while exploring the coastline. The Atlantic stretched out endlessly beyond the rocks, gray waves rolling slowly toward the shore. A handful of seals were resting on black stone ledges near the waterline. They watched me quietly as I approached. Seals are common along the Irish coast, so at first the sight wasn't unusual. But the way they were watching me was. They weren't startled. They didn't slide back into the water like most seals do when people get close. They just stayed there watching me, following my movements with their eyes. The tide was beginning to fall, exposing long stretches of slick rock that hadn't been visible earlier. Pools of seawater collected in the crevices, reflecting the dimming light. I walked along the shoreline for a while, filming the seals from a distance and listening to the steady rhythm of the waves. Eventually, the animals slipped quietly back into the water one by one, all except for one. It remained on a flat rock near the edge of a narrow inlet. A large gray seal. Its head tilted slightly as it watched me. The sun dipped lower, and shadows from the cliffs stretched across the water. And that was when I noticed something strange along the far side of the inlet. A figure on the rocks. At first, I thought it was another visitor watching the sunset too. But something about the posture caught my attention. They sat perfectly still, barefoot. Long dark hair moved gently in the wind. I assumed they just simply hadn't noticed me yet. But the inlet was quiet, except for the sound of waves brushing against the rocks. So I walked a little closer. And that's when the seal on the rock behind me slipped into the water. The splash echoed across the inlet, and the figure on the other side turned their head, and they looked directly at me. Their expression wasn't surprised or annoyed. It was almost as if they had been expecting someone to arrive eventually. They stood up slowly and stepped onto the wet rocks beside the inlet. And then that's when I noticed something else. Their clothes lay folded neatly on a nearby stone. And beside them, something dark and heavy. Something that looked almost like a wet animal hide. For a moment, neither of us moved. The wind picked up slightly, pushing small waves through the narrow channel between the rocks. The figure studied me with a calm, steady expression. And then they did something I still struggle to explain. They stepped directly into the water and disappeared beneath the surface without a splash. I stood there waiting for them to reappear. Seconds passed, and then a minute. The water remained perfectly calm. No movement, no sign of anyone surfacing. I walked to the edge of the inlet and looked down into the dark water. The tide had pulled away enough that the bottom should have been visible through the clear surface. But the channel dropped deeper than I expected, and the water turned black just a few feet below the rocks. As I leaned in for a closer look, something moved beneath the surface. Slow, smooth, rising upward. The gray seal from earlier broke the surface of the water, only a few feet from where the figure had vanished. It floated there quietly, looking up at me. And in that moment, the strange thought crossed my mind that maybe I was looking into the same eyes that had been watching me from across the inlet. The seal held my gaze for several seconds. Then it slowly turned toward the rock where the folded clothes still laid. I followed its gaze and realized that the hide was gone. Nothing remained except the pile of clothes on a wet stone and the sound of the ocean moving around it. When I turned back toward the water, the seal had vanished. Night was settling over the coastline by then, and the wind grew stronger, pushing the tide slowly back toward the shore. The inlet began filling with deeper water. I stayed there for a while longer, trying to convince myself there had to be a simple explanation. A swimmer, a diver, someone who had slipped away beneath the rocks. But the longer I stood there, the more the scene replayed in my mind. The folded clothes, the dark hide beside them. The way the seals had watched me earlier and the way that final one had surfaced, exactly where that figure had disappeared. Eventually I started walking back toward the gravel road. The last light of day had faded completely, leaving only the pale outline of waves against the rocks. Halfway up the path, I heard a sound behind me. A voice, soft, carried by the wind, calling from the shoreline below. I turned. By now the inlet was barely visible in the darkness, but something stood on the rock where the figure had been earlier. The wind shifted again and carried another sound across the rocks. It was a song. I stood there, listening as the call echoed across the shoreline. And then another answered from somewhere out in the dark ocean. And then another. Several voices. The figure on the rock didn't move. It simply watched the water waiting as it sang. The tide continued rising slowly beneath the cliffs, filling the inlet, reaching the rock where the figure stood. And just before the waves covered the stone completely, the shape disappeared beneath the water, as if it had always belonged there. I stayed long enough to watch the tide swallow the inlet entirely. The ocean grew quiet again, and the rocks vanished beneath the dark surface. Nothing remained except the sound of waves and the wind moving across the cliffs. But as I finally turned back toward the road, one thought kept circling my mind. In all the old Selkie legends, the Selkie only returns to the sea after finding her skin again. And if that dark hide on the rock had really been what it looked like, then the question that stayed with me wasn't whether I had seen a Selkie that evening. That wasn't the unnerving part. The horrifying thought to me was, who was the sick human being that took her skin? And where is he now? And that's the tale of the door in the water. Nancy, that's so cute that your cats like this music. Simster, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Thanks, Mary. Me too. I love that story. I don't know why it doesn't win very often. All right, welcome in, guys. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. And thank you, Monique. Thank you, Nancy. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. So if you guys could do me a favor while I'm doing that, if you could hit that share arrow. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow out this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, watch the shooting stars, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. I'll be right back with the next poll. Uh-oh, Jade. Uh-oh, so it's my fault? Well, damn. Well, damn. Sorry about that. I know, Jade. I know. Like, well, damn. Chuck Norris, welcome in. I was right. God, I'm good. It was your Achilles. Damn, I'm sorry, but I'm really proud of that because I straight up was right. I really did. I literally solved it. Y'all, I'm really proud of myself because after hearing her symptoms, I told Jade that, like, yeah, I was like, well, I also have clear cognizance. I told you, information just comes to me. I don't know anything about medical, anything. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I think it's your Achilles. I think it's the Achilles tendon. From what it sounds like, I'm pretty sure it's the Achilles tendon. You need to look at it. Yeah, and the doctor, I was right. I'm so glad you went to the doctor. I'm so proud of you, Jade. And now you can, thanks, Mace. Well, and it's like so weird when I pull information like that out because I'm like, I don't even know how I knew that, but I was right as hell. And damn. But I'm also so glad you know what it is now, Jade. And I'm so proud of you for going to the doctor. I told my doctor that my witch doctor helped me discover the issue. You know what, though? It is honestly because I'm a healer. I'm better than an x-ray. It is, though. It's because I'm a healer. So I feel like maybe that's how I like knew what was wrong with you. I don't know. But my witch doctor. That's so funny. If I could be half the Dr. Michaela Quinn was. And in case you are new here, I do actually have a low-key obsession with Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. It's like, I don't think you guys understand. It's amazing. It's a great show. Natalie, can I sing to you Lana Del Rey? That's so funny. I actually can. I'm not going to, but I can. I love singing Lana Del Rey because we both have deep voices, and she's actually one of the only people that I've ever been able to sing along with easily. I don't know, Vampy. I don't know. I can't tell you why you have these things. I was just helping Jane figure out what she had. Sultry voices, you said? You just finished Dr. Quinn, Nicole? Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, I love how I said, oh my God, I love how I said it low key. And Lovely says, It's 100% not low-key. Okay, it's not low-key. I love Dr. Michaela Quinn, and I love that show. She's an icon. She was an amazing role model for young girls in the 90s and even today. I'm not going to lie, Jade and I rewatched it, and we were like, she's so wise. This is like a lot of life lessons. It's honestly so much better as an adult, so highly recommend. I used to have a Dr. Quinn sticker in the chat, but it got voted off because nobody uses it. Hi, Joanne. And Jade, Vampy just asked who. So can you please let her know? Because if she doesn't know, my God, you're in for a treat. You are in for a treat. Oh, thanks, Natalie. Yeah. Maybe I'll sing on a Witchy Wednesday or something. You never watched it, but you remember her? Yeah, it was good. It was so good, wasn't it? Yes, me too. Jane Seymour's wonderful. She is wonderful. I know, lovely. That's why I was like, damn, how old is Vampy? Vampy, how old are you? Maureen, thank you for the adorable Cappy. I bet you're young. You don't really have to tell us how old you are, but... Oh. Yeah. You'd be too young for that then. Damn, that really makes me feel old as hell. Anyway, look her up. She's phenomenal. It's a great show. She was amazing. How did I realize? Because people have been telling me that my entire life. Okay, you guys. I'm going to set up the next poll so we can vote for the next story. Really, Lily? I'm 700. How old are you? What's your favorite Lana song, Natalie? I'm a big Lana fan as well. I saw her live and I cried. Because I love her so much. Yes, Aqua, I am. I'm 700. But I'm told all the time that I only look like I'm like 500. So I feel like... Yeah, exactly, Jade. Happy Thursday, Spooky. Oh, I'm not a vampire. I'm not a vampire. Vampy's a vampire. He says Mama Devin loves Dr. Quinn as much as I love Huggin' Molly. That's funny. I am nocturnal. Aqua, you're 700 too? Do you remember the French Revolution? Because I do, and that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. Drunkens, I wouldn't want to be a vampire. I enjoy being an elemental. Yes, thank you. They gets it. They gets it. Chill. No, but I would love to eventually. That would be amazing. I would love that. Yeah, I enjoy being an elemental. I wouldn't want to be anything else. You tell your kids what, Jessica? I missed the first part. What do you tell your kids? Oh, I'm a fluffy werewolf. That's so funny. Hi, Shakan. How are you? I'm actually a siren. Oh, you're in the middle of the mountains in North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. Where are you located? That's fun. Wait, forgive. What's the Scottish temper? because that might make a lot of sense. Do Scottish people are they known for having a temper? Because I'm Scottish and I'm like, wait a minute. There's this thing called a Scottish temper? Interesting. Oops. I am though, Scotty. Wait, what do you... Now I feel boring and young because all I tell my kids is I'm older than Google. Yes, Jade and I are related. Well, Jade swears I was her mom in a past life. And it could be true. Okay, guys, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. Feel free to share it out and repost while we do that. We can be awesome, Scotty, if we're nice. There are some that are not. But, yes, we can be awesome. He said, you obviously have witchcraft because I wasn't even on the app and I came back to you. Well, welcome to my porch. South Dakota, hello. Want to share any cool South Dakota folklore with me? I would love that. I don't have a South Dakota story yet. That would be cool. My favorite, Natalie, did you answer me and I missed it? I'm sorry. My favorite Lana song, that's tough. I know everybody hates Summertime Sadness, but I never will. I will love that forever. But I would say Radio is probably my favorite. I'm an old school Lana fan. I like all her stuff, but I like the old stuff so much. So I would say Radio. What about you? Or maybe Serial Killer. Those are both really good. From the Badlands, Chris, I would love to hear any. Or even if you like, people email me like links to like, just even if you have like suggestions of places I should research, I would love that. It's porchlore@gmail.com if anybody wants to send me their local folklore or even suggestions like, hey, I live here and there's this thing, look her up. I'll do that. Just gives me something like direction to look into. Did anybody answer me about the Scottish temperament? Was that a thing? Hi, Sam. I did get excited about South Dakota, Sharper, because that's the state I don't know anything about the folklore there. And I love learning. Very passionate, stubborn, and provoked. That's nothing like me. What are you talking about? What? I never could be the most passionate, stubborn, and provocable person. What? The girl who, when people tell me to hurry up, I stop and take longer on purpose. Stubborn? No. Thank you for the information, and that checks out. That makes a lot of sense. I'm also extremely passionate. And I can be provoked. So, but Vampy, you've seen me go after the people who provoke me in the chat, the trolls. I definitely put them in their place, Chris, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch, Vampy. Yeah, that's why it said provoked. I was like, perfect. That sounds exactly like me. Yeah, they do have it coming, Michelle. But that's exactly right. Is I'm not like that unless provoked. That's the best part. I'm like, that sounds exactly like me. Damn. Because I don't even like confrontation. Like, that's not my vibe. I'm so high vibrating. I don't like that. But I'm not gonna. I also will. If you FAFO. Oh my God, Chris. Goat man is the dream if it hasn't been done. Guys, Why don't we show Chris what's been done? Oh, Goat Man's been done. He's our boo thing. He actually comes into the live. And he gets his hooves tangled in the hammock in the back, and he burned his booty fur one night. True story. Ask anybody who was here that night. He really did. He twisted himself up in the hammock, burned his little tail, got his hooves all caught. It was the whole thing. Was anybody here that night? I know you guys were. And then he was all embarrassed, and he wrote in the chat, "Oh my God, you guys, I burned my butt." You guys remember that? Yeah, see, Tater Tot was here. Tater Tot was here. And Lovely was here. Yes, she said he got burned booty hair in our s'mores. Yep. So if you like Goat Man, I've got a treat for you. Okay, guys, the next poll is ready. And we have the Goat Man. It is peaceful, Chris. Welcome. We have... Oh, yeah, you did. Lovely. You were like, make extra room. We have insurance. Make extra room for Goat Man. Okay, we have the Goat Man versus the Flatwoods Monster versus the Camper Van versus Hug and Molly versus the Librarian. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times a piece, and you can vote for more than one story. And you know what? I do not have Utah folklore yet. I would love some. If you guys have anybody from any state, if you want to email porchlore@gmail and tell me suggestions on hey, this is cool, look into this or whatever, or even if you've had personal experiences, you can share that too. I would love that because I take a list and it helps me go and cover everybody's stories or everybody's states, All right, we've got the Goat Man, the Flatwoods Monster, the Camper Van, Hug and Molly, and the Librarian. Who's it going to be? And Cynthia, if you still want to vote, you can have Justin, if you want to tell Justin which one you'd like, Cynthia. And you can vote by clicking on the blue box in the top left-hand corner. And you can vote up to 50 times a person, and you can vote for more than one story. Shakan, I know. The Mothman's my favorite. 100%. And the winner is the Goat Man. I followed you. Oh, cool, Wolfgang. I don't really do much on there, but I just made the account, because I wanted to have one on each of the platforms. But I don't really post on there or anything. Like for Porch Lore, I use it like my personal one, but for Porch Lore, it's just kind of there. But yeah, if you ever want to message me or anything, I do check the messages every once in a while. But at the beginning, I was posting on all of those, and that one and the FB one just were not literally helping. They were just a waste of my time, to be honest, in terms of if I was getting any fault. It just wasn't really working out over there. So I came over to TT. Uh-oh, y'all. Molly is pissed. Hi, TR. Any fairy stories? Well, it depends on what you consider fairies. If you're talking about fairies like Tinkerbell, no. But if you're talking about the Fae world, yes. Yeah, Molly's pissed. Molly's real pissed. Hi, CJ. Oh, Chris, you're so sweet. Yeah, Molly's not happy with y'all. She's gonna be pissed. The Fae world? Okay, yes, I do. I have the Marshlight, which is about the Will-o'-the-Wisp, which is Irish Fae folklore. And let me think. Because I'm trying to think of what you consider Fae. Because Fae is actually elementals. It's like anything that, all cryptids kind of fall under that umbrella. So I'm trying to think of what is the common understanding of Fae? Because the Selkies are Fae. Which ones are you thinking of? Changelings, I don't, but that's a good idea. You think they're thinking, you get what I'm saying, Jade? I have no concept because my perception of is off. So you're thinking fairy. I should do some type of, hi Laura. Really, Robin? Pan Labyrinth style. No, I don't have any stories like that. Robin's driving through the home of Hug and Molly again tomorrow. She's gonna go and try and calm her down, she said. And that's a true story. Robin drove through Abbeville, Alabama, and guess what, you guys? She posted the picture of the sign in the Discord chat, and guess what the sign says? Home of Hug and Molly. So I sure did find y'all a tiny, obscure, actual folklore legend. I told you guys I don't make this shit up. These are actual folklore. So just an FYI, their sign says Home of Hug and Molly. They're yeah, we love our Hug and Molly. They put it on their sign. And I love that. I love it. And she looks like she's chasing a kid on the sign, which is so funny. Bub's Hug and Molly is a banshee, a famous folklore, basically a banshee in Alabama. Nope, she's not the ghost from yesterday. The ghost yesterday that I read was Eliza Crawford. Isn't that wild, Brie? They have it on their sign. It's so cool to me. I never knew their town sign had Molly on it. I'm I love that. It makes me happy. Yeah, Eliza's Beefy's girlfriend. Yeah. But there's also a list, like I said, on Discord, if you guys ever want to look at it, if you do get confused between the ghosts or who's who and stuff, because there are a lot of stories. So, all right, the Goat Man is the winner. I will be right back. Oh, hi, Yanni. I love you. Have a good night. Love you so much. Sam came in and said hi, too. Love you. That's my best friend. Okay, the Goat Man's the winner. So I will be right back with the tale of the hoof prints in the sand. Mwah. Love you, Yanni. Thanks for popping in. Also, Justin, I missed it. I should pin it. Where'd it go? Oh, good. Thank you, Justin. Monica, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Jesse. Welcome in. Glossette, no, that's not the phone. That's not the friend that messages me every time I go live. That's Jamie. She also comes in a lot, but that's Jamie. Speaking of, I'm going to send her the live right now. She's been coming in on YT, actually. She's been coming over on the YT. And I call her out about it, and she's like, yeah, I do. And then she doesn't care. She still does. But that's what friends are for. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I just call her out about it. I just invited her. Hopefully she'll come. All right, I'll be right back with the Goat Man. By the way, really random. Has anybody watched the show? I know it came out years ago, but did anybody watch the show First Ladies? I just started watching it, and I'm obsessed. And holy Michelle Pfeiffer as Betty Ford. Oh my God. It's so good. Michelle Pfeiffer plays Betty Ford. Gillian Anderson plays, what's her name? Roosevelt. It's amazing. But I had no idea Betty Ford was so awesome. No clue. It's amazing. Have I ever seen the show from... No, I haven't. Anyway, if nobody's seen the show First Ladies, it's free on Roku TV, and it's really amazing. And I had no idea about some of these things that they did. And a lot of them made actually like the things that their husband's predecedencies are credited for was literally because of them. Like the stuff they did. So highly recommend. Michelle Pfeiffer is phenomenal, and she plays Betty Ford. It's like, and Gillian Anderson from the X-Files plays Roosevelt, Eleanor Roosevelt. It's amazing. It's really, really good. So just wanted to throw that out there. I've been watching it, and I've been very moved by it. So I wanted to pass it along if anybody's interested. I don't usually watch stuff on like political figures, and I'm not really like that into that, but it's phenomenal. It's really, really, really. Yes, Viola Davis plays Michelle Obama. It's incredible. It's a phenomenal show. So just wanted to throw it out there. Yeah, Michelle, you knew exactly what it was. Good. It's really good. I'm glad. I love how Michelle knew what I was talking about. Yes, it's incredibly good. Yeah, I highly recommend it, Nez. It's just, I didn't know any of this stuff about these women. And and it really blew my mind. Merlin just not, that's why I don't let him in here when I'm not on the show. Anyway, I didn't know anything about these women. Yeah, did you hear that? Merlin just knocked over my whole thing of necklaces. Sharper, because I'm passionate. I'm passionate about everything. Yeah, he scared me too. He knocked over my whole thing of necklaces. Oh my God. And they fell behind my computer table. So they're just like, oh my God. Anyway, he's so cute, isn't he? I love him. Yeah, I am Scottish. But anyway, it's a phenomenal show. And I had no idea about these women, and I've been very moved by watching their portrayals and the stuff they like. It's just really interesting and phenomenal and touching, and makes me proud to be a woman. So especially Michelle Pfeiffer's performance is like, I could not stop watching when they showed the Betty Ford scenes. Like, I was like, every time Michelle Pfeiffer really commands the screen in that show. So just wanted to pass it off, let you guys know. Yes, people often mistake my passion for aggression too, and I'm not aggressive at all. So I'm glad you know the difference. You saw it, Archangelo? It is. It's really good. I was surprised no one in here has seen it. You can watch it for free on Roku TV, April. That's where I found it, because I have a Roku TV. And you know the home screen like advertises stuff? Well, they got me, because it popped up as one of those ads, and it was like the First Lady. Is it called First Lady or First Ladies? I'm not sure. But if you look up Michelle Pfeiffer, it'll come up, and Gillian Anderson and Viola Davis and like all of these huge names. But it's, and what's her name? Dakota Fanning plays Betty Ford's daughter. It's like a really good show, but it's just like a mini series. And so I had never watched it. So I think it did have ads because it's Roku, but like I had never really watched much on Roku TV. But since it came up on my home screen, you know, I was like, what is that? And I clicked on it, and then I started watching it. The First Lady. Okay, thanks, Michelle. And so I clicked on it and started watching it, and it's really blew me away. Like I was not expecting to like it so much. Yeah, Dakota Fanning is cute. I was not expecting to like it so much. Yeah, so Michelle just typed it out what it's called, but it's really, yeah, it's a star-studded cast. I know, Scotty. It's star-studded cast. I was blown away. And Michelle Pfeiffer, I haven't seen her in anything, and she was amazing. So I don't even know when it came out. I think it was several years ago, probably, judging by how young Dakota Fanning looks in it. But it's incredible. So I highly recommend if you guys are looking for a new, and it's not like anything really stressful. It's just kind of an interesting look on, it's kind of like a biop, you know, like tells about their lives. Yeah, and Viola Davis plays Michelle Obama, and she's really good too. But Michelle Pfeiffer, she's so stunning in it still. And she plays Betty Ford. Like, I was engrossed in her parts of the show. I could not stop watching the Betty Ford parts. I had no idea Betty Ford was such an icon. Like, I don't know if any of you guys knew. Yeah, it's just a mini series, right? But I don't know if it's just called The First Lady. Yeah, I had no idea that Betty Ford was such an amazing woman and such a badass. And I didn't know that Gerald Ford was actually such an amazing and supportive husband too. Like the whole it was amazing. It's a really good show. I haven't finished it yet, but it's very good. Insomniac, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Quick swig and then Goat Man. St. Nicholas, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. You wouldn't happen to be the St. Nicholas, would you? Like the man with all the presents? April, it's similar to that. It's like a historical biography. Like, it's similar to Hidden Figures, but it's a mini series, and it's just really good. It's just really good. Lavender Babe. And yes, she was the best Catwoman ever. She was a phenomenal Catwoman. She made me want to be Catwoman. Well, I still do, actually. Hi, Jess. Hi, Live, Laugh, Love. I'm sorry you had a bad day. Yeah, Scotty, that's what we're saying. Michelle Pfeiffer was the best Catwoman of all time. Michelle Pfeiffer's the Catwoman. She made me want to be Catwoman. What is there? And I'm not even saying this facetiously. Who else has even played Catwoman? I literally don't even remember, because the only one is Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, I can't even think of the other ones. Who else played Michelle? Who else played the Catwoman? Oh yeah, Halle Berry did. I forgot. See, I forgot, because Michelle Pfeiffer was like, her meow was crazy. Now I remember Halle Berry was amazing too. Halle Berry was amazing. Oh yeah, and see, Anne Hathaway was the other one I couldn't remember. Yep. And Halle Berry was actually really, really good too. But Michelle Pfeiffer just did something. She really like embodied the cat. Yeah, like Halle Berry's amazing in everything she does though. Same with Michelle. They're both like icons. You know Halle Berry's from Ohio. Thank you, Jamie, for Prairie Blitzy. Who was the OG one, Abby? Thanks, Gigi. You're so sweet for typing in keywords. Thank you, Jess, for the cute capybara swimming. And I don't have military stories, but I would love them if anybody wants to share them. I do not have military stories, but I would love to tell them. I have heard stories about those who served in Afghanistan and Iraq back in the early 2000s. But if you have any stories, I would love to hear them. Or I would love if you just want to, make them. They're always anonymous. I usually change the names and stuff unless people want me to use them in them. But you can email them. If you ever have story suggestions, you can always email me at porchlore@gmail.com. And yes, Japanese folk horror. There is a TV show on Netflix that I started watching. Japanese, honestly, is probably one of the only ones that scares me. Most folklore, I'm not scared of. I'm not scared of cryptids. I'm scared of humans. So like Saw and stuff, absolutely not. But I will watch any paranormal supernatural show and I'm never scared, okay? I watched this one on Netflix that's Japanese, and like I had to turn, I went back to it, but after I was not expecting it to be so freaking scary. And after the first episode, I was like, what the hell? And I just like turned it off, and then like I went back to it later and enjoyed it. But Japanese stuff is scary. I can't remember what the show's called. It's like something about a light, or like a gift shop down a light bulb store or something in the middle of an alley. It's like a light bulb. I'm sure if you like gave it a Goog and said Japanese show about a light bulb store in an alley horror, I guarantee that would come up. No, Conjuring didn't scare me. I'm only scared of like slashers. I'm not scared of paranormal things, or because I love the element. I feel like everything's elemental, and I don't believe in demons. So that kind of stuff. I mean, if I was actually in that, experiencing that, would I be scared? Absolutely. But watching that's not really. Like Haunting of Connecticut and like Haunting of Connecticut 2 is really good. You agree, Sunshine? I don't even know how to explain it. I don't want to sound like arrogant because things do still scare me. But like overall, as a whole, I'm not really that frightened of the like most of these things. I will tell you, I wouldn't want to run into a puckwudgie. They do frighten me a bit. The Fresno Nightcrawlers creep me out, but I'm still not scared of them. They're just really weird to me. But like Jeffrey Dahmer or something, no, that scares me. That scares me. Because I don't assume everything we don't understand is bad. And I know that we do understand humans, and a lot of what we understand is bad. Yep, humans are the scariest thing to me. Because I don't like to assume that, like, just because, like, Fresno Nightcrawlers, they don't look like bad dudes. And all they've ever done is cross people's yards and through camera footage at Yosemite and stuff. They actually really haven't done anything. So, like, I'm not scared just instinctively because I don't know what it is. Does that make sense? I'm not scared of unknown things. I'm scared of things that have a track record for being scary. That's why puckwudgies scare me, because they hurt people. So, like, I'm not just, if that makes sense. Like, so, The Conjuring, I guess people did get hurt in that one, but I don't know. I don't know. I have a certain opinion about Ed and Lorraine. It's not very popular. So I haven't really ever been super interested in like a lot of that stuff. Like that makes sense, Scotty? Okay, good. So I've never been really super interested in that whole, it's not really my favorite. Because I think Ed and Lorraine were, I think they were, I don't even know what the right word is. Snake oil salesman? Full of shit? What's the word that they used to call people? Anyway. Scammers? Yeah. Scammers. Okay, ready for Goaty? Let's do it. Jamie, thank you so much. Charlatans. Why could I not think of that? Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the hoofprints in the sand. I had always thought of the Outer Banks as a place shaped by loss. Barrier Islands are like that. They exist on borrowed time, constantly rewritten by storms and tides. Entire neighborhoods disappear. Old roads vanish. Lighthouses are moved inland like refugees. History there doesn't settle. It just drifts. And that was part of the reason I went to Nag's Head Woods. It wasn't the beaches or the vacation houses or the boardwalk nostalgia that drew me inland. It was the forest. A rare maritime woodland surrounded by development and salt air. Preserved like a pocket of something that refused to change, even as everything around it eroded. I had heard the stories long before I arrived. Not campfire exaggerations and not internet creepypasta. Actual stories from fellow Carolina locals. Whispered warnings about something that moved wrong in the woods. Something seen at the edges of the trails. Something with hooves where feet should be. And they called him the Goat Man. Most people laughed when they heard the name came up. But it's the kind of laugh that people usually use when they want to signal disbelief while simultaneously ending the conversation. Nag's Head Woods doesn't feel like the rest of the Outer Banks. The moment I stepped onto the trail, the air changed. The ocean noise faded almost immediately, replaced by the muted absorption of sound that only dense forest can create. The trees grew close together, their branches interlocking overhead. Live oaks twisted into shapes that looked intentional, like they had grown with awareness of one another. The ground beneath my boots was uneven, rising like bones just under the surface. There were informational signs posted at trailheads detailing the unique ecosystem. Freshwater ponds hidden among dunes, rare plant species, and the importance of staying on marked trails. I followed the rules. At least at first I did. I checked my phone and I had no signal, but that didn't really worry me. I had expected it. The first thing I noticed was the smell. It wasn't rot, it wasn't sulfur, it was wet wool. Like wool that had been worn too long. It came and it went as I walked, faint but persistent. And then I saw the tracks. At first I assumed deer. That made sense, the preserve was full of them. But the shape was wrong. As I kept walking, the trees felt like they closed in. The underbrush thickened, and I realized that I hadn't seen another person in over an hour. Though the parking area had been full when I arrived. And that was when I heard movement ahead. Footsteps. I slowed, and the steps slowed. I stopped and they stopped. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was like the woods had paused to see what I would do next. I didn't run. That instinct never came. What came instead was the overwhelming sense that running would be a mistake. The path opened into a small clearing, and that was where I saw him. The goat man. He didn't look like the stories. He wasn't towering. He wasn't monstrous in the way people want monsters to be. He stood slightly taller than me, hunched at the shoulders. His legs were unmistakable, backward jointed, thick at the thigh, narrowing sharply into dark hooves. His torso was human enough to trigger recognition, but wrong enough to trigger rejection. Muscles layered oddly as if developed under different rules. His arms hung long, and his head, I struggled to categorize that part even as I stared at it. The skull shape was human but elongated, and horns curved backward along the crown, worn smooth at the tips like they had scraped against trees for years. His eyes were forward-facing and focused on me. The smell intensified. Thank you, Carmen. Wet wool and salt. Bye, Jade, love you. We stood there like that, neither of us moving. Thank you, Carmen, that's so cute. And then he did something that changed everything. He tilted his head. Not like an animal, like a person trying to understand another person. And the goat man stepped aside. Not toward me, but away from the trail, and he gestured. The motion was subtle but unmistakable. A long arm lifting, fingers curling inward, indicating a direction deeper into the woods. I should have refused. I should have just turned around. But something about the gesture felt gentle and inviting. And I realized that this was not an ambush, this was an invitation. So I followed. The path he led me down was not marked. No signs, no trail maintenance, just compressed earth and broken branches forming a narrow corridor between the trees. The goat man moved ahead of me, never looking back, as if he were confident that I would follow. And I did. The woods changed as we went. The air grew cooler and the vegetation thinned. Sand replaced soil beneath my feet. We reached a depression in the ground where the trees parted around a shallow basin. In the center stood a structure. It wasn't a cabin, it wasn't a shack. It was a house, old and weathered. Built low to the ground, roof sagging under the weight of years of salt air. The wood was bleached, almost white, like it had been leached of color by storms. I recognized the style immediately. Late 1800s coastal construction. Temporary housing for fishermen, lighthouse keepers, or workers who had never intended to stay long. The goat man stopped at the edge of the clearing, and he turned toward me. and for the first time I noticed his eyes weren't animal at all. They were sorrowful and tired. Inside the house, the air was still, not stale, but preserved. Furniture sat where it had been left. A table with a single chair pulled out. A narrow bed with a threadbare blanket folded at the foot. Shelves lined with glass jars clouded by age. This wasn't a lair. This was a dwelling. And it had been loved and lived in. As I moved through the space, memories pressed in that were not mine. The rhythm of the tides, the isolation of storms, the slow realization that the mainland was further away than it looked. The goat man remained near the doorway watching me. And I understood then that this place was not meant to trap me. It was meant to show me something. There were photographs tucked in a wooden box beneath the bed. Black and white images curled at the edges. Men standing beside boats. Men posing in front of the very house that I stood in now. One photograph showed a familiar silhouette in the background. It was him. The date on the back was faded but legible. 1898. The year of the bad storm. And then I realized the goat man wasn't a creature born of curse or magic. He was a man who had survived something that he was never meant to survive. Shipwreck, isolation, injury, exposure. Years without proper human contact. A body reshaped by necessity and a mind reshaped by solitude. And a forest that learned to accommodate him. When I looked up, the goat man was closer. Not in a threatening way, but in a way that longed for a friend. And I understood the final truth about Nag's Head Woods. People didn't disappear there, they stayed. Those who followed the invitation. Those who accepted the altered rhythm of the place. Those who stopped needing the outside world. Those who were brave enough to step off the trail. The goat man wasn't hunting, he was recruiting. Preserving a peace that most people these days will never know. I backed away slowly, shaking my head, every instinct screaming to refuse what the woods were offering. And the goat man didn't pursue me. He simply watched as I left. As if he was confident that time would do what fear could not. I made it back to the trailhead just before dusk. The parking lot was empty now, except for my car, exactly where I left it. But the sand around it was disturbed. Hoof prints facing the driver's side door. I drove away that night, and I never went back. But sometimes late at night, I smell wet wool mixed with salt air. And I wonder how many people walk into Nag's Head Woods believing they are alone. And how many choose to never leave. And that's the tale of the hoofprints in the sand. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. Shay, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Thank you, Archangelo. I do too. I love the Goat Man story. Sherry's comment was so funny. Oh, you don't like him, Vampy? Why? Everybody loves him. Sherry's comment was so funny. She said, he's just like, do you want to live off the grid? No? Okay, bye. That's literally what he was like. Thank you, James. Welcome to the porch. Yeah, he's one of my favorites too, Scotty. He's right up there. He's probably second to Mothman. Love him. Yeah, Nag's Head does have a certain vibe. Really, Stardust? I'm so glad. Aw, thanks, Omar. Alright, you guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to set up the next poll. Yeah, the stepping off the path, thank you. It's very subtle, what I'm trying to reference in that story. So I appreciate it when some people notice it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Viola, thank you. Because most of my stories kind of have almost like a lesson or a tale, you know? A subtle one. Sometimes you have to listen to the story a bunch of times to get what the underlying, like what I'm trying to say, you know? Yep, so thank you, Viola. I appreciate you. All right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm just going to set up the poll for us to vote for the next story. Be right back. Chris, are you talking about the melon heads? Oh, you're talking about in Maryland. Got it. Vampy, were you raised Catholic? I don't know. Have you been conditioned to think that every goat is Baphomet or something? I don't know. Then I don't know. Maybe you just don't like him. Maybe you guys have a past. Maybe you guys had a thing in a past life and now you're like, I hate him. I hate him. One and only, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Grim Soul Taker. Who is liars? The people in the story? Okay, guys, we have the next poll ready to vote. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, we're about to vote on the next one. Welcome in. All right, the next poll we have is the Ozarks Howler, the Yule Hunger, the Ash Grove, the Sasquatch Stalker, and the Mothman. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. And you can vote up to 50 times a person, and you can vote for more than one story. The box hides under that pink banner when someone gets a universe, but it's still there. We have the Ozarks Howler. We have the Yule Hunger. We have the Ash Grove. We have the Sasquatch Stalker, and we have the Mothman. And I believe Michelle requested the Yule Hunger. And then we have, which is a winter one. And then we have the Ash Grove and the Ozarks Howler, Sasquatch, Mothman. Who's it gonna be? I feel bad. I think I took too long for Yule Hunger, and I think Michelle fell asleep. Because she's usually always voting for the stories she requests, and I think she fell asleep. Oh, she's here. Yay, I was like, I think I waited too long to put her favorite story, or one of her favorite stories on the poll. I felt bad. Oh, Carmen, thanks for the Blitzy. How cute. Oh, Michelle's back, you guys. She had just stepped away from the phone. She's back. Oh my gosh, thank you, Jen. I love that capybara. Ooh, good, Scotty. Daniel, no, the goat man is not Satan. We were literally just laughing about that. You weren't happen to be raised Catholic, were you? Who's it gonna be? Oh, it ended. Oh, and the winner is the Ozarks Howler. The Ozarks Howler. Hi, Joe. Happy Thursday. Like, he's supposed to be scary, but he's actually super chill. Yeah. At least that one is. I mean, there are goat men reported all over places, but the one in Nag's Head, super chill. But I heard there's one in Maryland, and I also heard there's one in Lake Worth. I do have a story about him too. What does Jesus have to do with footprints in the sand? I don't get that. Hi, Echo. I don't know, Dawn. Somebody just mentioned it tonight. I don't know where in... Oh, well, I don't read Jesus poems, Michelle. So I don't know what that is. I'm not a religious person, so I don't know that poem. Yeah, I know, Michelle. I know you don't. Yep, never heard of that. I don't really know a whole lot about that. Listening from Cancun. Hi, Jay. How's Cancun? Yeah, I get that, Michelle. Sometimes you hear about it because everybody talks about it. And Christians do like to tell everybody that they can constantly about what they believe. And, sometimes I just want to be like, shh, we already know. And if we don't want to know. I know, James. Not all of anybody does something. People are individuals. So when I speak in things, it doesn't mean all of anything because everybody's different. Yeah, Pippa, somebody else already mentioned it. Yeah, but I didn't know that. I never heard of that poem. Right, Isabel? Jade. Jade. Oh, Aaron, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, we just voted, and the next one's about to start now. Really, Chris? I don't get it. He said, spoiler alert, there was only one set of footprints. What? I don't get it. One set of footprints. Gonna have to look it up. Hi, Dance Chick. I miss you. How you doing? I missed you. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll look it up. Hi, Graveyard Shift. You followed me again. Didn't you already follow me before? Welcome back. Yeah, I'm sure it is, Jade. That's why I said, yeah, I'll look it up. Oh, got it, Rebecca. Got it. So, if he carried them, then they were Jesus's footprints? That's confusing. Anyway, be right back. Jade, I was literally thinking the same thing and I almost said that. I'm like, Mothman can carry me. Oh my God, Jen, thank you. That's so cute. And Space Elevator, thank you. Can I pet that dog? Lady Rose, I have no idea. I have no clue. Doesn't even matter. Like, oh my God, I don't know. Anyway. But same, Lady Rose, same. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Oh my God, that's so funny, Spooky Bestie. She said, man, I hope the hat would go on his head. Thank you for the cap. And thank you for the capybara. Dude, if that hat went on his head, that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. Jen, me too. I really wanted that hat and mustache to work. That would have been so good. Thanks for trying, Spooky Bestie. And we haven't named the puppy yet. We can come up with names, but something's got to be better than George. Come on, guys. I named my seal after a poet. You guys can name the Howler something better than George. Because Curtis is my seal, and I named him after Curtis Jackson, the one and only. That's right, Matt, 50 Cent. Or Fitty. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, these are pretty terrible names. These are pretty bad. These are pretty bad. Like, why did everybody go straight for like a white middle-aged dude We have Ralph, Theodore, Carl, Frank, Ralph, Calvin, George. I mean, come on, guys. Stephen. What are these names? He's a howler. You guys can do better than that. This sounds like the Congress. Sounds like the Supreme Court. Jesus, come up with something better. Joe, there we go. Another one. Come on. See, now Howley is cute. Justin's got the right vibe. Howley, that's cute. That's good. Right, Glenda? Anybody besides somebody that's like a name on, you know, any of the branches of government would be great. Fester, there you go. Graver, Lucian. Lady Rose said Chad. Chompers, that's cute. See? Chompers and Howley are my two favorites so far. Chalky's cute. Chalky's really cute, Justin. Wilfred is cute. Vampy, no way. No way, Jose. Barf. Enigma, okay. Janice is getting fancy. Wait, that was Janie. You're not Janice, I'm sorry, Jamie. Oh yeah, or we could honor Virgil, she's right. Virgil's kind of would be really funny. It would be kind of really funny if we named him Virgil. Lupin is clever, wonderful ghoul. I like where you're going with that. I like the folklore tie-in with that one. Jade, you missed Virgil. He unclogged my sink. He's a lovely young man with curly red hair. Probably in his 20s. And yep, his name's Virgil. And he unclogged my sink for me. And when I saw his shirt, I thought he was wearing a vintage name badge shirt from like a thrift store that said Virgil on it. And then I was like, so what's your name? And he's like, Virgil. I was like, oh, that's actually your, wait, that's your shirt. That's your name on your shirt. Oh my God. Okay. I was so thrown off. And he was so kind. Yeah. All right. I'll be right back. One quick swig. Wreck-It Ralph, Angela said. I like Romeo, that's kind of cute. Toothless. These names are really something else, y'all. Jade, debris? Are you just picking words now? Debris? Why does everybody keep saying Fenrir? Is that some reference I don't understand? So far, Howley or Chompy is in the lead. Howley and Chompy. Wasn't it Chompy? Or something like that? It's Norse, but what does it mean? Why do so many people say it at the same time? Is it from a show or something? Snuggles is a funny name. Snuggles is a very, very funny name. Good one, Mandy. Good one. And definitely nothing Luciferian or Satan related. We do not need those zealot people coming in here. No, thank you. Mr. Picklesworth. Oh, the Norse wolf of the gods. Got it. Got it. Cuddles, Fluffy. Those are cute. Tonks. That's funny. Shots fired. At who, Kyle? At you? Did I shoot fire at you? Am I saying this? Yeah, and I wasn't shooting at you. I was saying we don't want the Christian zealots to come in here and troll the live. They just came in and asked if Goatman was Satan, so. And last night on YT, I had somebody say, what did they say, y'all? That they were going to rebuke Spearfinger? Rebuke Spearfinger. So Kyle, you are more than welcome in here. I was talking about zealots. They said, I rebuke anything on this live or something. Oh, I got a puzzle piece. One sec before I start. I got a damn puzzle piece. Boo. Boo. There we go. Gouda, I love that, Angela. That's hilarious. Bojangles, you guys are ridiculous. Okay, I have to stop reading these names and start the story, but these names are hilarious. Way to go, Jade. Look what you started. These are so funny. So far, I like Howley and Chompy. Howley Gouda is so funny. Okay. Okay, we're going to start the Howler. You guys can keep naming him. Gary, absolutely not Sherry. That's my stepdad's name. Mortimer, I love that, Kyle. Mortimer's cute. Mortimer's going in the top. Mr. Fuzzy Pants is funny. I really like Mortimer. That's really cute. Okay, so we have Howley, Chompy, and Mortimer. I know, that's a good one, right, Michelle? Mortimer's a great... And we could call him Morty for short. I think Mortimer might be it. Let's let that stew, guys. Think about it. Yeah, I think everybody likes Mortimer. Sir Spook-a-Lot is so funny, Paul. Yeah, I think it's a unanimous. Everybody likes Morty and Mortimer. So his name is Mortimer now. Good job, Kyle. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Jade, that Kyle. He suggested Mortimer. He's our new friend. He's a new porch pal. And he came in hot. He just got here and he's like, boom, Mortimer. And we're like, yep, that's it. Welcome to the Porch Pals. Oh, Chester's funny too, Lady Rose. Most people outside of the Midwest have never heard of the Ozarks Howler. Michelle. And honestly, even most people inside the Midwest treat it like one of those regional campfire tales. Something local parents use to keep their kids from wandering too far past the tree line after dark. But if you spend enough time in southern Missouri or northern Arkansas, especially around the older mountain towns where the roads narrow into gravel and the forest seems to swallow whole stretches of civilization, you start hearing about it in ways that don't sound like folklore anymore. The first time I heard the name was from an old newspaper clipping pinned to the wall of a roadside diner outside Branson. It was framed between yellowed photographs of flood damage and a missing persons flyer from the 70s. The clipping described a farmer in the 1920s who claimed he saw a beast the size of a bear with glowing eyes, horns like a ram, and a cry so unnatural it made his livestock slam themselves bloody against their pens, trying to get out. Now, depending on who you ask, the Ozarks howler is described as a shaggy black beast with horns and glowing eyes. Others say it looks more like an oversized mountain lion with malformed hind legs, and some insist it has tusks. Others swear it has a tail tipped like a spear. The only consistent detail in every version is the sound. Witnesses describe it as something between a wolf, an elk scream, a woman shrieking, and metal grinding against itself. A noise so wrong that hearing it allegedly causes nausea, panic, or temporary paralysis. Stories of the creature date back at least to the early 1800s, with settlers in the Ozarks recording encounters with what they called the devil cat, or the hainted beast. But some folklorists believe the legend may be older and adapted from indigenous oral traditions, warning against supernatural creatures and spirits that lived deep in the hills and should never be followed after dark. Others think the creature was inspired by sightings of diseased bears, escaped big cats, or simple frontier paranoia. But if that were true, it should have faded. Instead, sightings continued. Hunters disappearing after screams were heard in the woods. Farm animals found gutted but uneaten. Campers have reported eyes in the dark, followed by sounds of no known animal. Every few years, another sighting surfaces online or in local papers, usually mocked into oblivion by anyone who hadn't grown up near those woods. I rented a cabin near the Mark Twain National Forest. And if you've never heard of it, it's a very underrated, gorgeous national park in Missouri. The cabin looked charming. Wraparound porch, stone fireplace, private acreage, no neighbors for miles. And at the time, that last part sounded relaxing. The drive down was gorgeous. Late October had painted the hills in rust and gold, and every curve of the mountain road looked like something out of a postcard. By the time I reached the cabin, the sun was already dipping behind the ridgeline, staining the trees copper. I noticed the large oak tree behind the cabin had large gashes in the bark. A little alarming, but just my reminder that bears do live in the area. The place itself sat alone at the end of a dirt road with forest pressing close on all sides. Dense enough that 10 feet beyond the clearing became shadows. The owner had left a binder of house rules and local recommendations on the kitchen counter. Tucked between pages about Wi-Fi passwords and checkout instructions was a handwritten note warning guests not to leave food outside because of bears. Under that, someone had scribbled in pen that if you hear something screaming in the woods, don't go looking for it. I laughed when I saw it. I assumed it was some little joke the owner used to play up the spooky mountain aesthetic. Later that night, I was sitting on the porch under a blanket, enjoying some greenery with a little Bluetooth speaker playing music softly beside me. And the night was almost unnaturally quiet. Just the wind moving through the leaves. Then every insect around me stopped at once. The silence hit suddenly, and then I heard a sound from somewhere deep in the trees beyond the clearing. It started almost like an animal call, but then it bent upward into something agonized and human enough to make the hair on my arm stand up. It sounded wrong in a way that I can't properly explain. Not scary because it was loud. Scary because every instinct in me knew that I was hearing something that I couldn't identify. The scream echoed across the hills, and then again, closer. I didn't move. The third scream came from a different direction entirely. Not deeper in the woods, to my left. Oh my God, Michelle, that is so cute. Michelle, what was that? Thank you. I love that. The third scream came from a different direction entirely. Not deeper in the woods, to my left and much closer. As if whatever made it had circled while I was standing there. So I went inside immediately and I locked every door. I remember trying to rationalize it. A bobcat? A fox? A mountain lion, maybe? Animals can make horrifying noises. But I've heard recordings of those animals since, and none of them sounded like what I heard. I barely slept that night. Sometime after midnight, I woke to heavy footsteps moving across the wraparound porch. Boards creaked outside the bedroom window and then stopped. I held my breath. Then came a wet, snuffling sound against the glass, like something was smelling the window. and then claws dragged slowly across the pane. I stayed perfectly still until dawn. In the morning, I found muddy tracks on the porch. Not a bear, not a dog. They were canine-shaped, but not normal. And this only deepened my curiosity. I had to investigate this further. Just one short walk in broad daylight, just to check out the terrain, see if I notice anything out of the ordinary. The trail wound through dense timber and limestone outcroppings, the kind of forest where visibility drops to nothing after 20 yards. Everything smelled of wet leaves and old stone. I had been walking maybe 40 minutes when I found the deer. Or what was left of it. It lay half hidden in the brush off the trail. Its rib cage was torn open. Its hindquarters were untouched. The throat had been shredded so violently that the head nearly hung loose. But almost no meat had been eaten. It appeared to have been senselessly killed. I turned around immediately. And that's when I heard branches snapping behind me. Something large was moving through the woods, keeping pace. I looked back once and I saw a black movement between the trees low to the ground. Too large for a coyote, too fluid for a bear. And then it stepped into a beam of sunlight maybe 30 yards off the trail, and that's when I saw it. Its body was shaped roughly like a massive wolf, but with weird proportions. Its front shoulders were too broad, the hind legs were too long. Its spine sloped unnaturally down like a hyena. Thick black fur hung in clumps across its frame, patchy in places as though diseased or scarred. Its head was oversized and broad-jawed, and it was crowned by two curved horn-like protrusions rising from above its ears. Its mouth hung slightly open and strings of saliva swung from teeth too long for its jaw. Oh my God, Carmen, that's so cute. Thank you. And then it screamed. Not howled, screamed. The sound hit me like a physical blow. And I ran. I have never moved that fast in my life. Branches tore at my face, roots caught my boots. Behind us, I could hear it crashing through the brush and shrieking in short bursts that sounded almost like it was excited. I burst from the trail into the cabin clearing with that thing still behind me. I slammed the door just as something hit it hard enough to shake the frame. And then another impact. Wood splintered near the hinges. And then it circled for hours, throwing itself against the walls, scratching at the windows, screaming from different sides of the cabin as if trying to confuse me. At one point, it climbed onto the roof, I could hear claws scraping overhead. And then, silence. Long enough that I thought maybe it had finally left. But then, the power went out. The cabin was plunged into darkness. And from directly outside the living room window, I saw 2 red eyes. I stayed huddled in the bathroom with a kitchen knife and a fireplace poker until sunrise. Thank you, hippie chick. Thank you, wonderful cool. And the thing was gone by morning. My car, parked beside the cabin, looked like someone had attacked it with an axe. Doors gouged, windows shattered, deep claw marks raked across the hood. Police came, search teams came, wildlife officers came. They found tracks, damage, blood from where the creature had cut itself breaking the car glass. But no animal, no explanation. Officially, they blamed a bear. They always blame a bear. As I waited for the car rental shuttle to come pick me up, I sat down to catch my breath for a minute. And I noticed the cabin's guest book sitting on the coffee table. I opened it up to a bookmark page. It was an entry from 6 years ago. A woman who described the exact same thing. The screams, the eyes, the clawing at the walls. It was written in shaky hand, and she claimed the cabin owner built the property there intentionally. Thank you, Code Red. His grandfather had once owned the land, and he had believed the howler didn't just hunt randomly. It returned to places where blood had been spilled. And decades before that cabin was built, a massacre of the local indigenous people soaked that land with blood. The local story, according to the note, was that whatever the howler truly is, it doesn't simply live in the Ozarks. It's drawn to violence and cruelty, to places where something monstrous has already happened. And it comes back again and again. It described the dozens of deep scratch marks carved into the oak tree behind the property, the one that I had noticed when I first arrived. Layer upon layer, some fresh, some scratches so old the bark had grown around them. As if something had been returning to that tree for generations. Maybe the moral is that some places earn their legends. Some folklore exists because enough people survive the same terror to give it a name. Maybe the Ozarks howler is exactly what old mountain families have always said it was. A thing that manifests when the land is soaked in blood. All I know is this. If you ever find yourself in the Ozarks after dark, when the woods go silent, and you hear something screaming in the distance, don't convince yourself it's just a story. Because Stories aren't supposed to leave claw marks that deep. Welcome in, Shelby. Thank you. And that's the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, so if you'd like to hear them, they are available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you can find me. Oh, Angela, you thought that one was creepy? Yeah. Matt, that's cute. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the next poll. Oh, thanks, DJ. I love these capybara gifts. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the next poll for us to vote for the next story. Okay, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have Spearfinger. Mwah. We have the Deer Woman. We have the Hitchhiker. We have the Lake Worth Monster. And we have the Puckwudgies. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner, and you can vote up to 50 times a person, and you can vote for more than one story. So who's it going to be? Spearfinger, the new story of the week. The Deer Woman. The Hitchhiker. The Lake Worth Monster. Or the Puckwudgies. Who's it going to be? Thank you, DJ. Good night, Jade. Love you. And the deer woman is the winner. Isabel, I'm glad thank you for what you do. It's very important. Thanks for being a semi-driver. I love being on the road as well. I'm a road warrior. I love driving. Yes, all of my stories are inspired by things that have actually happened. Thank you, Joker. You're so sweet. And yes, Shelby, they are all on the Tube of You, which is YT, and all of the podcast streaming sites. But yes, YT is my hub, and I premiere a new story there live every Monday at 7 p.m. And then I tell it over here. But all of the stories are over there. I even have a playlist on my YT channel called Bedtime Stories, where you can just hit play all or shuffle, and you will find all of these stories back to back to back. So, yep, you can listen to them whenever you want. Most people in here do fall asleep to those every night. And that's why I come in here to read everybody's favorites live. But most of them got favorites from listening to that playlist over and over again. Yeah. Aw, Shelby, you're so sweet. And trust me, it really works. I am able to help a lot of people fall asleep and relax their nervous systems, and myself included. I actually cannot edit my stories with noise canceling headphones on, or I literally fall asleep. So we're really glad to have you here, and welcome to the porch. Everybody welcome in Shelby. It's true, Shelby. I literally hypnotize myself. It's ridiculous. You just woke back up. Oh, I'm so glad you got some sleep. Yay. Yeah, most of the people in here by the time I'm done are asleep, and I love that. If I can bring you guys some relaxation and some Are You Afraid of the Dark spooky nostalgia, that makes my heart really happy. Hi, Isabel. All right, guys, I'll be right back with the Dear Woman of Oklahoma. That's okay, Cable. And we're going over tonight. We're going over a little later Viola, you're in Oklahoma, then I'm sure you have heard of the deer woman, have you not? She's spooky. Average C, you're so funny. Are you on Rumspringa right now? Oh, thank you, Walito. That's so sweet. I love you too, Misty. I love you. Hello, John. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pals Society. This is the tale of the deer woman in Oklahoma. Most people who talk about the deer woman online reduce her to a metaphor. They frame her like some elegant morality tale, an avenging spirit, a cautionary fable, a beautiful, supernatural punisher of wicked men. But the older stories that I heard in Oklahoma did not sound like metaphors. The old stories there begin as warnings. Warnings spoken by grandmothers while shelling beans on porches. Warnings murmured by uncles over campfires. Warnings folded into bedtime stories and tribal teachings. Old superstitions that nobody openly admits they still believe. The deer woman was never simply a monster. She was a consequence. Among Native nations such as the Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, Osage, and many others, whose histories stretch through Oklahoma long before it was Oklahoma, stories of the deer woman vary, but the bones of the tale remain the same. She appears as a beautiful woman, alone in the woods or by the roadside. Sometimes she's dancing, sometimes she's crying, sometimes she's asking for help. And sometimes she's luring men from camps, from roadsides, from bars, and from lonely cabins. She is almost always described the same way. Beautiful beyond reason, impossibly graceful, long dark hair, bright eyes, and skin shining in the moonlight. And then always too late, the men notice her feet. Hooves, split and black and cloven, beneath the hem of her dress. In some stories, she tramples those who are cruel. And in some stories, she seduces predators before killing them. And in some tales, she exists as vengeance itself. Punishment for violence against women, for lust, for arrogance, for disrespect. In the older versions, she is less moral and more primal. A predator wearing a human face because human men are foolish enough to follow beauty into darkness. Kinsey told me all of that on the drive to Tulsa, toward the eastern hills, where the highways narrowed and the land rolled into endless folds of oak forest and red dirt roads. She had grown up in Oklahoma and invited me out to do some exploring. I had flown in for a long weekend to visit her, and the plan was simple. Stay at her family's old hunting cabin near the edge of tribal land. Spend a few days hiking, film some footage for my channel, and hear local legends from people who actually grew up with them instead of the reading sanitized versions online. When I asked Kinsey whether she believed in the deer woman, she stared at the road a little too long before telling me that she wasn't sure what she believed, but that believing had nothing to do with respecting something. The cabin was older than either of us. Rough timber walls, tin roof, broad porch. Antlers mounted over the fireplace. It sat alone in a clearing, surrounded by oak trees and blackjack pines, with the woods pressing so close that at night the tree line became a solid black wall. There was shoddy cell service and no neighbors for miles. It was also pitch black. Thank you, Supra. Thank you, Queen Lakota. There was no ambient city glow, just darkness. The first night there, Kinsey pointed out a spot not far beyond the woods. Apparently, it was native ceremonial grounds that her grandfather had warned her never to disrespect. She said that local kids used to dare each other to sneak out and go there after dark. but most came back screaming before they ever reached the trees. One boy supposedly came back barefoot, bloody, and hysterical, swearing a woman had been dancing in the woods to no music. Every trail there had a story. Every creek crossing had some whispered warning attached to it. Everywhere around there seemed to have a reason that locals didn't linger there after sunset. Good night, Misbehavin'. The second night, after filming footage of the land all afternoon, thanks, Zach. Thank you so much, Zach. And hiking farther than we had intended to. Thank you, Stardust. We drove into a quaint little town for dinner. One main street, one gas station, one diner, and one blinking traffic light. By the time we left, night had swallowed any remaining light, and the highway back to the cabin was dark and empty. No headlights, no houses, just miles of black road slicing through forest and pasture. And then in the light of our headlights, we saw it. Good night, Vampy. A woman walking barefoot along the shoulder of the road. Alone at nearly midnight in the middle of nowhere. She wore a pale dress that fluttered around her legs in the warm night breeze. And even in the headlights, there was something strange about the way she moved. Kinsey didn't even slow down, and every hair on the back of my neck stood up. Kinsey floored it past the woman without even turning her head, without looking, without acknowledging her at all. As we passed, her head turned with us, too smoothly and too far like an owl. I twisted to look through the rear window, and she was standing in the middle of the road now watching us. But even from the distance, I could tell that her legs were bent wrong, backwards at the knees. Kinsey drove the rest of the way, white knuckles on the wheel. Later, back at the cabin, we joked about it in the shallow way people joke about something that has them genuinely rattled. And we tried to rationalize what we saw. Someone with a physical impairment? Maybe it was a lost hiker, a drunk person, a crackhead? Maybe it was an optical illusion, right? But neither of us believed our own explanations. We locked the cabin and we stayed inside. Around midnight, something began circling the house outside. At first, just footsteps. It paced around the cabin for nearly an hour. Sometimes slow, sometimes suddenly sprinting around the perimeter in a manic thunder of hoofbeats. At one point, it stopped directly outside my window. I could hear the breathing. I don't know why I looked, why I'm so curious. But I peeled back the curtain and there she was, standing inches from the glass. She looked human from the waist up, beautiful in a way that venomous things are beautiful. Hi, Beefy. Smooth skin, hollow dark eyes, hair hanging in damp ropes around her face. But below the waist, no human legs. And then she smiled at me and her mouth opened way too wide. And I screamed. And she slammed into the window so hard the pane cracked. Kinsey dragged me backward as the thing outside shrieked, a sound somewhere between a woman screaming and an elk bugling. And then we heard the slow creaking of the porch wood bracing from weight. Then came the scraping, like hooves clanking against the porch boards. For nearly an hour, it circled the cabin, never knocking, never speaking, just pacing, waiting, trying to scare us out of the cabin. At some point, the pacing stopped, and we sat on the couch in silence, barely breathing. Then came the sound of a single heavy impact against the front door, hard enough to rattle the frame. Happy birthday, Beefy! Then another, and another. The entire cabin shook. And then nothing. Absolute silence. It stayed silent until dawn, when sunlight finally bled through the curtains and we both could finally breathe again. We stepped outside and the porch was empty, but the outside of the door and the wooden porch boards were scarred with deep gouges raked across the door and the floor. We both packed up all our stuff in under 15 minutes and we got out of there. Neither of us spoke much on the drive back to Tulsa. And I just kept replaying the night over and over in my mind, trying to make sense. Halfway through the drive, Kinsey got a call from her uncle, and he sounded panicked and asked where we had been. He said the neighboring property owners found something in the woods that morning. A hunter, or what was left of one. His body had been found less than a mile from our cabin. His chest crushed inward, ribs shattered, face nearly unrecognizable, like something heavy had stomped him to death. Authorities blamed a feral hog attack, but all the locals knew better. We never went back to that cabin, and Kinsey's family sold the property the following year. Later, I went back to review the footage from that trip. I remember we had filmed tracks by the creek that day, and I had set the camera down on a rock while talking. And it had been recording for nearly 6 unattended minutes, and I almost deleted it. But then I caught movement in the background, between the trees, behind us, far back in the brush. There she was, watching us, and perfectly still. And that's the tale of the Goat Woman of Oklahoma. Thank you, Carmen, for the hand hearts. Hi, Drew. Thanks for the cozy cryptid and the populars. Carmen, thank you for the roses. All right, and welcome in everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Did I say goat woman? I meant deer woman. Did I say goat woman? Probably. It's a tale of the deer woman. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Deborah. I did say goat woman. That's hilarious. I meant deer woman. Sorry, guys. Yeah, she married the goat man. I'm tired, y'all. Sorry. That's so funny. Goat woman. All right, you guys know what time it is. Mr. Jackalope, that's funny. It's grilled cheese time. And if you guys haven't yet, check out the merch store. It's very cute stuff. Even if you don't want to buy anything, I made a lot of cute things for our inside jokes and based off the stories and stuff that I think you guys will enjoy looking at. There's also fun things like Mothman taking a selfie koozies and mouse pads and backpacks, swim trunks, scarves, pet bowls. There's everything. So feel free. Thank you, Justin. So feel free to please check it out. Even if you don't want to buy anything, I think you guys will just enjoy looking at the things. Good night, Winter Moon. And I put a lot of love into it. So I hope you guys enjoy looking at it. And I will be right back. Hi, Aaron. Yeah, welcome in. I will be right back with the tale of Sycamore Diner, or the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Good night, Thay. Good night, James. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore looked like it hadn't worked in years, but the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check the map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, all on counter with spinning stools. Even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people? They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet. Like they weren't expecting me. Like I had walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth. The vinyl creaked, and I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around, and everyone looked normal. Sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard, drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. and an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were there but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you, Sally. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going. But now the wind had picked up. I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit. Not even a flicker. The food came fast. Too fast. Like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past the table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff, just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I still had enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once, and then again. And then, everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back and the jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm, a voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest. I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm, and still half eaten. Then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. "The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in." She raised a hand, and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer. Like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled, and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it, underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. One second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign. No glowing windows, just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone. Not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight when everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor, the same red booths, the same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And with that, I will say thank you, Porch Pals. I hope you guys get some wonderful sleep. And if not, head on over to my YT channel where I promise you will probably be asleep by the second video. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to spending my evenings with you every night. I'm so grateful for the beautiful community we've built and are continuing to build. And I will see you guys again tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, stay spooky.